Alright, it's your boy number one Jeopard Hater, and I am back with another Honkai Star Rail guide. As we do see, the Planar Fissure event is indeed back. As you are watching this video, this event is out on EU servers and Asia servers, but for North American servers, we do have another hour until this event is live. So if you're from EU or you're from Asia, hope you've saved this so you can kind of see what to be doing with this event. And if you're from NA, you can watch this to sort of see how you can optimize your farming before the event does come out. So I'm going to be running you through every world, talking about the ornaments, which worlds recommended, which worlds aren't. Because there's a lot of iffy worlds and there's a lot of good worlds you should sort of be prioritizing because some give you better results than others. Obviously, it comes down to luck, and as we do know, Planar Fissure event, double the drops, double the garbage. But, you know, more garbage means more garbage is what it is. Anyways, as like I said, before I get this video, drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this, and also make sure to drop a like if you hate Jeopard. Anyway, let's get into it. So from here, it's actually not called Worlds anymore, but I'm still going to call it Worlds. So from going World 3 all the way up. So every world that goes up is going to be increased. So World 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So with World 3, I do not recommend doing this world due to the fact that mainly Space Sailing Station, everyone's favorite relic set, this is mostly an outdated set now. Usually this set is used by people that have good pieces laying around while they do farm for the better ones because there's other damaged ones that are way better. But this world does have Ageless, which Ageless is really good still. This works better universally because it's the better option on something like a dot team. And just any DPS can use this besides like Blade or an E6 Aventurine, lol. But it's not really worth farming this in general just to isolate it because again, you're mostly going to be getting half and half. Space Sailing Station drops will be kind of sad because once again, there's better stuff you can farm. So it's better to farm one of the other ones and then destroy those pieces and try to craft Ageless because that's just a better way to do it. So overall, for World 3, I would not actually recommend to do it. World 4 is actually pretty dependent, because Italia set itself is really good for the characters that can use it, so Boothill, Harmony Trailblazer, and also Jiaoqiu. Firefly can use it, but there's obviously a better set. This set for them is really good, giving you a bunch of break effect, and all of them are built at higher speed levels. But overall, it's just those break characters that can use it, and we don't have too many right now, so this isn't the best in slot for most DPSs in the game, just those guys. So this can be another relic set you could just be better off making by destroying other pieces and just converting it into this. But this world does become valuable if you do value the Von Walk set. Von Walk set overall isn't used too much, but there are some characters that could benefit from it because the 5% energy regeneration rate can help some characters, and when you do have 120 speed or higher, you get a 40% action forward immediately upon entering the battle, which pretty much just lets you go first and set up. And as a note, this is going to be really good with Jiaoqiu, letting you set up immediately, so this is practically good for anyone that kind of wants to set up their stuff, so Jiaoqiu applying a skill, trying to get his ult as fast as possible. But for the most part, characters that already want to set up already have a way to go first, like Robin has an action advance in her kit, same with Jade, they have action advances in their kit. So if you are looking for certain characters you want to build to have to go first, or if you're a zero cycle crack fiend where Von Walk becomes very optimal, then this world can become valuable, otherwise it's not too valuable to do. As for World 5, this is probably my most voted against world to do because while yes, the effect hit rate set is good for the characters that could use it, so Gwenifin, Jiaoqiu himself because he is effect hit rate scaling, someone like Welt, Black Swan, you can see there are characters that can benefit from this a lot. The problem is the second set is completely and utterly garbage. For the most part, every world has a relic set that's good on a good amount of characters, or at least a usable amount of characters. This set is quite literally just useless. There is practically not a single DPS using this, and if you have this, you get rid of it instantly. Gone. Garbage. You can have a godlike piece on this and it's probably still not worth it. So just like with some of the cases I mentioned already, with the effect hit rate set being good, especially for Jiaoqiu who's coming up, it is better to just pick a different world where you can have a better benefit and then just destroy those pieces, convert it into this because you do not want to risk getting this. So World 5, definitely not recommended. World 6 is very dependent, mainly because Inertial Salto is extremely good for anyone that could use it, giving you 8% crit rate, and when you do have 50% or higher crit rate, damaged out by the ultimate and follow-up attack damage increases by 15%, which, as we do know, Salto really good. And as for the Bellabog set, this is really only good for two characters, being the Fire Trailblazer and the character that we'll not talk about that everyone hates. Yes, I'm still salty. Anyway, for the most part, unless you do have those two characters you want to build, and then you have a bunch of characters that can benefit from Inertial Salto, that's the only time I would recommend doing this world. But if you don't want to build your Fire Trailblazer or that guy, then this definitely does not become of value. There is another set that, for the most part, anyone that can use Inertial Salto can use the other one even better. So this becomes another case where you destroy other pieces and put it into this. As for World 7, this is actually one of the worlds that I would actually recommend doing because both sets you can get are very, very good. Riddle and Arena, anyone that can use it, it is practically the best in slot. You do 8% crit rate, and when you have 70% or higher crit rate, damage up by basic attack and skill increased by 20%. So anyone's that main damage comes from basic attack like IL Danhang or skill like Jinglu, and then some other cases like an E0 Zele where her main damage comes from the skill. This is going to be one of the best in slots for them and it's just a really good option in general. And then accompanied with that is Broken Keel, which is just like Aegis, practically the support set in the game. Any crit DPS, you want to put this on your support so they can get even more crit damage. Even do 10% effect res, which is really good because you don't want to get CC'd. And when you have 30% or higher effect res, you give everyone on the team 10% crit damage, which is really, really good. So with this world, you are benefiting from both sides. So you get arena pieces for some DPSs that you might have, and then also Broken Keel, which is practically good for any support that would go on a crit team. So World 7 is a great option. World 8 is another iffy one because Glamoth is a really, really good set to get. Anyone that can actually hit the speed thresholds, mainly 160. If you're able to hit 160 and you're a DPS, this becomes your best in slot. Zele, dot characters, any DPS that's fast, minus the break characters, this just becomes the best in slot, giving you 12% attack, and then when you have 135 speed, you get a 12% damage increase, and when you have 160 speed, you get an 18% damage increase. So for anyone that can actually benefit from getting the 160 speed, and even a lot of characters at 135 speed, this overall becomes the best in slot because damage out is really good, and on top of that, you are getting 12% attack. The only reason I say this is iffy is because of the Panaconi set. The Panaconi set is more of a situational set. You mainly only see this set if you are running something like Mono Quantum, where you have one main DPS being Zele or QQ, and then you have a team of Fushuan, Sparkle, and Silverwolf where they would all be running this, and since it does stack, each individual one get their 5% energy regeneration rate, which benefits them, but they are also increasing damage by 10% for all other allies that are the same type, and as they are all Quantum, the main DPS is the one to mainly benefit from this. So if you have your main DPS and then 3 Quantum characters that do have this set, they're getting a 30% increase in damage, which is really good. And then the only other time you really see a benefit from this is if you are running something like Ruanmei or Pele with Jinglu, or something like Bronya with Blade. So it's a very situational set, and if you don't really do any of that, then this world doesn't become too valuable because for the most part, anyone that can use Glamoth has a nearly as good option that you could use. While this does pull ahead when you can get to it, you still can just get better off by farming different pieces for different characters, since you want to make sure both pieces are ones you can use. So if you don't have other characters that sort of benefit off this, or you're not doing something like Mono Quantum or ice characters with certain characters and then something like Bronya with Blade, then there isn't really much value in doing this, so I would not recommend this world in that situation. World 10 is going to be another one that I mainly do not recommend because this set right here is practically the Pure Fiction set. While it is best in Pure Fiction because you can get up to a 40% increase of crit damage and you also get 4% crit rate increase, which is really good, but for the most part, killing those 10 enemies, you only really see that racked up in Pure Fiction, and most people will not really want to switch their sets for specifically Pure Fiction, especially when other relic sets just do the job just as well, or not just as well because this one pulls ahead, but enough to get the max scores, or at least the scores that they need. For the most part, you don't really care about the set. And as for the Izmo set, this is also something situational because you only really see this if you are running Acheron, because Acheron always has another Nihility with her, or if you're doing something like Topaz and Ratio, since they're both hunt and you want another character on the team with the same path as the wearer to get the crit rate increase, but this is mainly a crit rate cope set. So overall, this really does depend, but mostly there are better options. It really is there if you just have lower crit rate on a character that does have a team where there is another person that has the same path. So once again, Topaz with Ratio or Acheron with another ability character, which will be always. So overall for World 9, I would not recommend doing it. And for the final world, World 10, this is probably my most recommended set. As we do know, the game is getting a lot more tailored towards follow-up characters, God bless. The Duran set is practically just pulls ahead. If you're able to stack it fully, it just pulls ahead of Inertial Sono by a little bit for every character that can make use of it. Because when you do have 5 stacks of merit, you get a 25% increase to follow-up damage, and then again, once you do have the 5 stacks, you additionally get 25% increase to crit damage. So the Duran set pulls very, very high numbers because you're getting 25% increase to follow-up damage, so your follow-up attacks will hit harder, and you're also getting 25% crit damage, which will make your overall damage when you do crit hit harder, including follow-up attacks. So Duran is a very valuable set. And on top of that, upcoming character Feixiao, this is going to be your best in slot. So that's another thing you should consider. And as for this set right here being the Fire Break set, right now this set kind of does depend on if you are mainly running Break, because this is the best in slot for Firefly. Since you are hitting someone with Fire Weakness and then you get a bunch of Break effect on top of that getting speed, this is also really good with Himiko. So if you have those two characters really good, you can also put this on your Gallagher, who benefits a lot. And I will also say the upcoming character Lingsha is going to benefit from this a lot too. So if you are summoning for Feixiao or Lingsha, this is the one you want to be doing. And if you're summoning for both, which a lot of people will be doing because Lingsha is really good on Firefly's team, and then Feixiao is Feixiao, this is going to be one of the most valuable sets you can do. So as for World 10, it is recommended. And yeah, that is the guide. Pretty much the way you want to look at it is to find the world where you get the best bang for your buck. Because if you get a good piece on one set or the other set, you're going to be happy. So if you're getting good Rudal and Arena pieces, you're going to be happy about that. And if you also get good Broken Keel pieces, you'd also be happy about that. Which would be way better than if you do something like this godforsaken world where you get bad pieces for this, but you're mainly going for that. And you get a godlike piece on this useless set, so it's automatically bad. So for the main part, you just want to be going for the worlds that will be benefiting you from both relic sets. And that obviously depends from player to player. Once again, upcoming characters, Jiaoqiu is going to benefit a lot from the effect hit rate set because that's what his main source of stuff is. You build him effect hit rate. He also can do good with Von Walk. And as for Feixiao, she's going to be performing best with the Durin set. You could also do Inertial Slaughter, but Durin pulls ahead a little bit. And as for Lingsha, this is going to be really good with her since she is fire, and with fire weakness, you're going to be able to get a bunch of value out of the set. She can also use something like Talia, but the other set just does better. And then if you just wanted to build her as a general healer rather than specifically for Break, which because of how she works, Break is going to be better, but you could still give her something like Broken Keel on a crit team or Aegis for overall. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys are going to be farming. Hope you guys found the video helpful. Peace out.